Alright folks, hello and welcome to another Legacy stream this time around. This week we're going to be doing a lot of Legacy streaming, and the reason for that is because of this, the Mana Traders Series. If you don't know about the Mana Traders Series, it's basically a tournament that they host every single month. What you do is you need to qualify. By the way, the tournament is free. The entry is free, but you get better prices if you are a member of Mana Traders. And if you're not a member of Mana Traders, but you would like to be, of course, you can support the stream and get a little bit of a discount while you do so by using the link that we see right here on the screen. Basically, it's a tournament that pays out $15,000 in prizes every single month, and the format changes every month. Last month I think it was Modern. This time around it's gonna be Legacy. So you have to play through some matches in order to qualify, and once you qualify there's a Swiss and then there's a top 8. So this is what we're going to be working on this week, and the deck that I'm going to be working on is going to be Green-White Reclaimer. Yes, because basically the main reason... Oh, it was a standard last month? Oh, gross. Okay, so it was a standard last month, I guess. But the previous month it was Modern, and I couldn't participate in it. So that's why I didn't care, I guess. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, this deck is what I played and what I'm going to be playing during the qualifying process, and maybe even during the Swiss. We're gonna see how that goes. You can switch decks during the qualifying process, but you cannot change that after you have already started on the Swiss. Like once you submit your deck list for the Swiss, that's what it is. If you haven't seen this deck in action, I recommend you check out my YouTube channel. You can see from the very early versions of the deck list, you can see the evolution until we got to the point where we are now. There are still many things that I want to be trying out with this deck. We actually discussed it in the podcast when we recorded earlier today. This is going to be going live on Thursday, so you're going to be able to listen to a more in-depth discussion. But this deck has been a lot of fun, and it has actually been really powerful. My experience has been that it actually works very well against all the Delver decks, and it has a pretty solid matchup against the Snow decks as well. It's basically based off the Modern Green-White Reclaimer deck, so we have a very similar shell with Reclaimer plus Flagstones. Instead of having Illidan's Call, we actually have access to the super busted Green Sun Zenith, and we also have Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time is pretty nice because it helps you maximize your chances of Reclaimer on turn 1, which is cool. Then we actually have Thalia. This is something that I stole from my early lists of Titan Vial. But Thalia is particularly powerful in Legacy. It can be straight up game winning by herself against certain strategies, for example Storm or the like. But it is also super disruptive against Delver, against Snow, etc. It really is it's a very good card. Collector Oof, Scavenging Ooze, these are all part of our Silver Bullet package. Knight of Autumn, Tireless Tracker, Raminep Excavator, and Yasharn Implacable Earth. All of these have very different functions, and they really shine against specific strategies. Then we have a couple of Civil Libraries just because this card is kind of busted, and a couple of Skyclave Apparition because this card is also kind of busted, and the one of Primeval Titan that we can just Zenith for. Sometimes you get to cast it, but yeah. We are very much a Field of the Dead deck, though sometimes you get some pretty cool wins through Dread of the Elysian Grove plus Valakut. From the list that I played this past weekend, the only things that I changed is I added a second library in place of the 4th Dryad. Definitely this is not a deck that needs the Dryad to win. It's kind of a nice to have in in some specific situations, and the fact that we have 4 Zeniths means that we still get to see Dryad fairly often. But you very rarely want to have multiple copies in play, so I thought that adding another copy of library could be interesting. This is definitely something that I'm testing though, and I'm not sure about at all. Going on to the sideboard with the new cards, I'm going to be testing out Tabernacle. And that's kind of it. That's everything else is the same cyborg from this past weekend. I'm still not sure about the Spirit of the Labyrinth. I do like the Wasteland, the Silences, Path and Swords to Plowshares, and Fairy Macabres and the Force. The question marks are Spirit of the Labyrinth, Veil of Summer, and the Tabernacle, which is what I'm going to be testing out today. So we're going to see how things go. What matchup are you targeting with Yasharn? There's actually very many, Nutty. Yasharn blanks Force of Will, it blanks Toxic Deluge, it hosts Hogak, because all of their sacrifice synergies don't work with Yasharn in play. It hosts Fetchlands, it hosts LED and Lotus Petal. It actually is a lot more useful in Legacy than it is in Modern, for sure. There are a lot of, there are very many cards that you don't even think about that get randomly answered by Yasharn, like Snuff Out. Like, that's a card that you can play. No, you can't play it with Yasharn in play. I mean, you can just cast it, but you can't pay the alternate cost. It stops Vampire. That's also true. That's also true. Yasharn stops Vampire Hexmage. It doesn't stop the other guy, the 1-drop. And it doesn't stop like Thespian Stage and whatnot. But it does stop Vampire Hexmage, that's true. If this were a green source, I think I would keep this hand. But the problem with this hand is even if we do find the green source, we still need another untapped land to do something of relevance on turn 2. So I think this is going to be kind of slow. Unless we know it's a matchup against which Thalia is busted. I mean, we get 2 draw steps out of land. We get 2 draw steps out of land, and we can also Zenith for Arbor on 1. Maybe this is just a keep, actually. Maybe I'm just being an idiot, and I think I'm gonna keep it. Let's science this hand. I'm gonna justify this hand in the name of science. Well, this can be a problem. Blood Moon. Sure. Basic Forest, let's go. I guess now I'd rather wait and play Zenith on 2. And just Zenith for Reclaimer, because Reclaimer can fix my mana. Shatter Skull Smashing. And I think we do it right now because it stops the tiny dude from attacking. And oh no, not a Chandra or a Karn, one of those. Jeez, okay. Planes? One minute short. That sucks. Con we slow these guys down enough? We probably can't, right? One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we probably can't. They still have more stuff? God damn it. Paradox with the tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold. Thank you for your support. So we definitely want the force. I guess I do like Thalia on the play, huh? Scum Engineers can go, and... does he have Shonen send anything? I don't think so. It fetches basics, though. His hand is kind of close. Guess we have to ship it. I'm gonna keep this one though. And I think we bottomed the Dryad here. Oh, you're very welcome, Pime. So let's keep this. We're gonna bottom the Dryad because I think that it's very likely our Reclaimer dies. Windsweep Heath is great because it allows me to fetch for a basic forest. Let's go. Any chance you do Cyber Guide for this deck in preparation for mana traders? I don't know, Big GC. I have not really been 100% happy with the list. Honestly, I'm kind of happy enough, but I have not really been happy as I wish I were, if that makes sense. This kind of doesn't do anything. Well, fuck. I guess it does something now, huh? Good in the plains. And I think we just get another Flagstones here. And I'm gonna play a Reclaimer. Because it's a 3-4, so my opponent would need to have exactly second Chandra here. And if I untap, I get to... Sure, that guy doesn't do anything. And if I untap, I get to do both things. We get to Apparition and activate Reclaimer. Chalice for 1. That doesn't do anything. So what I do here is I kill this. Yeah, that's the play, right? We Apparition the guy that draws cards, and then we fetch for Plains and attack the Chandra. Now they have nothing. Only thing that seems sketchy to me is the Veils. I've not been impressed by that card in this type of deck in the past. Yeah, I mean, there's many things, honestly. There's actually many things that we could be doing differently. My opponent concedes. Yeah, that was not the best Sphere I've ever seen. There's many cards that I could be again, I explained in the beginning the cards that I think that are the question marks, right? Like Spirit of the Labyrinth, the Veils, and the Tabernacle are the big question marks in my opinion. Everything else I kind of like, but those cards could be many other things. The problem is I'm still getting a feel for like what are the holes that the deck has and how to fix those holes. So I'm still in the process of figuring all of that out. I think I'm gonna keep this in. Good evening, Blubber. How's it going? Point and kept again. Chalice. Sure. That's a Chandra. What do I want to do here? We have three options. We can sin it for a Reclaimer, but it's going to be just a 1-2, so I'm not too excited about that. We can play Thalia, which kind of forces my opponent to -2, because otherwise they cannot play one of their Rabble dudes. Or we could Library. If we Thalia and my opponent doesn't minus, it means that next turn we can waste into play a 3-4 Reclaimer, which is something I'm kind of excited about, so I guess I'm gonna go for that. And I guess I'm getting a Plains here because we might draw into Apparition. Apparition is the argument for wanting to play Library because we can dig a little bit deeper towards Apparition. Ugh, P&K is very good for them. Damn, son. It's a pretty bad draw. Well, this is actually not bad for us. So now we can waste them. Plus Library. Because now I think that we really need to... Because this thing is going to ultimate, so I think now we have to find an Apparition. Ugh. Vomit. Yeah, their hand just had a little... Yeah, just a little bit too much gas. Yeah, Chalice is usually not very good against us, but in this specific setup, it was kind of brutal, actually. Okay. Them being on the play was huge. Both games, actually. I think if we had been on the play, there was... I mean, that's kind of what that deck does, though. So, not really much of a point in just trying to justify. Like, the mono-red deck just does that. Like, it hopes to be on the play, and it hopes that its luck pieces actually work. And that's what they did in games 1 and 3. And when we had a reasonable draw, then we just kind of rolled them over. So... Usually that kind of matchup is not is not bad for us though. They really need to have one of the kind of like the higher ends of draws, because we don't really care about a bunch of their lock pieces. So we have ways to play around Chalice. We don't care too much about it. Like it just stops 4 cards out of my hand, 8 cards total out of my deck, and it doesn't even stop all the Reclaimers because I can still get them thanks to Zenith. We also have Forces, so there's like multiple reasons why Chalice is usually not that great against us, but in that game it was. I mean, it wasn't so much the Chalice that won that, it was mostly the Chandra, obviously. Okay, let's keep this. I'm not like stoked about this, but the goblins aren't great, but fast move, this walker can be rough. Yeah. Early walkers can be tough. Playing against Malimujo, who is a very, very good player. They usually play Texas, I think. But it seems like they might be on Rug. I mean, I guess Excavator is a business spell, right? And like this hand doesn't really have too much going on, so I guess I'll get the. Like it's just very likely that this Reclaimer just dies, right? So getting the Flagstones there is tempting, but I just don't think I'm gonna get to untap with this guy. Just gonna get bolted. Or not. Okay. So now Reclaimer is a 3/4. Maybe they just have Oko? I'm not blocking this Goif though. Not yet. They put 2 cards on top. That probably is not good for me. No blocks. We're probably hoping that they're not playing Stifle, because if they're playing Stifle, we're getting super owned here. But it's not like we can realistically play around it anyway. So. Bad draw. Playing this because if we need to, we can just go get another one. They kept that on top. Huh. So they definitely have a Delver here. They have a Bolt, sorry. The question is, do I care more about killing the Goif or do I care more about killing the Delver? That is the question that we're asking ourselves here. I think I care more about killing the Goif. The way we do this is we bog them. Just gonna play Oko. They're so cool. Get a plains, and now we bog them And they go if dies to state-based effects. And now the Reclaimer dies to state-based effects. I think we just play this as a 4-3. Splow here. Oko doesn't do too well against this thing. One Grim Goblin, thank you for the follow. Make a food. Okay. Attack Oko. I think I'm going for ramming up here. I could wasteland my opponent. They force. Okay. So I think that they have a hooded mandrills, so the cost is real though, because I'm delaying my thing. This is close. But I guess I have to waste them. Okay. We can't attack, so they're gonna have Oko go in. Ugh. That one's good for them. We can draw. Fuck. So we can plow this and we can bring the Oko down to 4. But then we're fighting the other food next turn, so we're still in the same situation. Just gonna have to chill here, which is unfortunate. The good thing is that at least they can't steal my thing, so... I guess we just have to trade here, right? Yeah, we just have to trade. Otherwise, they just clock us too quickly. And we draw a Dryad. Don't have the fucking force, opponent. Come on. They are playing Stifle. Wow. Well, that I was not expecting at all. Okay, so we have to plow this now. They are playing Stifle. Wow. Here comes the mandrills. They finally found the green source. Yeah. So my read that they had a mandrills was correct. Am I gonna have time for that one? So I guess we're gonna have to chump the food and take 4. Or that. It's kind of weird. Hey bro, Tom, okay. You're a very competitive Valakut deck. I think you will love it. Been testing it almost a year now. Oh, come on. Really? Okay, so at this point, we might be a little bit low on options. Huh? I guess that's one of the good ones, so... Put this on top, pay 4 for this one. Oliver D, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold, Oliver. 19 months, that is. That's a lot of support. Thank you for that. Sure. Okay, Rug Delver. Rug Delver. So I guess they do have Stifle, huh? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Sure. I like this hand. Turn 1 thoughts is 2, 3. Think of the follow. Paying 4 was a mistake. It's possible. I don't think so, though. Because we are kind of in a situation where... I guess we go basic first. We were in a situation where I need to be able to like draw multiple cards, and Wasteland is like we need to be hitting all land drops in order to win. Like our out was, okay. Well, we're definitely playing around days, so. I could have waited. I could have waited a turn, yeah. Yeah, because they probably don't have answers to that, so maybe I should have waited. Maybe you're right, Pokimoki. Okay. So I guess we're gonna fetch right now just to play around Stifle, which my opponent did show me, so. Bolt Thalia is good. Have another one. We just gotta draw lands here. I mean, not what I had in mind when I said that we gotta draw lands, but. You're behind, you just have to take more risks. Yeah, that was kind of my thought. Like, if I'm gonna be drawing a land, which I do need in order to win, then probably Wasteland is better than another other random land. That sucks. It's likely that they cut some. Okay, so they're missing land drops. They're looking for lands probably because they shuffle with the ponder. They 100% have days, right? Can I realistically play around days? I probably can't. Also, if we play around days, we might get got by Wasteland, so I think we just have to jam into days here, unfortunately. Yeah, they just have the card cast days. Fuck. That sucks. I think we want to get rid of the green source here. So they don't have Stifle in hand, otherwise they would have totally stifled that. Yeah, I feel like wasting green there is the correct line. Cool deck I have here? Yeah, exactly. It's a cool deck. What else could I want? It's probably Mandrills. Oh wow. They force here? Okay, force pitch in days. They have so many days. Even on the draw, they have all the days in. More forces. Okay. Force pitching spell snare. Down to 2 cards. So Reclaimer's great. Oh, come on. That's very unfortunate. I was saying Reclaimer's great here. Also, Field would have been great there. Unfortunately, we drew another land. Well, my opponent drew their library. Have I played a Vintage Cube? Not really. To me, the whole point of a cube is to draft with friends. So you can't really do that in Magic Online. So there's, like, to me, there's literally no point for playing Vintage Cube on MTGO. Probably should have attacked. Oh, we're just dead. Okay, we're just dead. I like watching Kenji and Gabby Sparks because it's like playing with friends. Yeah, I mean, usually when I'm with friends is the only situation in Magic where I'm not competitive. So yeah, when I watch people play, usually I'm more into watching competitive stuff, unless it's exactly LSV or KLebD. Those are basically the only two players that I watch Vintage Cube. Whenever anybody else plays Vintage Cube, I just have zero interest about it. We just got by the classic downside of playing a deck without cantrips. It is what it is. It is what it is. I still think I'm pretty happy with my Delver matchup. I do feel like I already have that I do have a pretty positive matchup against the deck, but sometimes they just Delver you. And again, at that point, we have so many draw steps that just turn the game around instantly, right? If we draw Ramming Up, we turn that around. If we draw our we didn't have Tracker, but we had like Spirit of the Labyrinth, would have slowed down the library to a halt. Path to Exile, Plowshares just gets rid of their creature. Reclaimer just finds Field of the Dead and we win from there. Like we just have so many good top decks, we just couldn't find them. Delver is the best deck in the format because it has no truly matchups. Yeah, exactly. It's what Delver in Legacy is what John in Modern wishes it could be, basically. This is a fine fine hand here. This is interesting. I think I'm going for the Ramming Up here, because it means that if I combo it with my Dryad, we're gonna have very many land drops. Snow-covered island. Okay. Worst draw in the deck every single time. I should have fetched main phase, by the way. That was a mistake. Now my opponent can plow my Reclaimer. Yeah, this was a pretty bad mistake on my part, honestly. I just didn't think. Yep, just gonna plow the Reclaimer now. Huge punt. I basically wasted my entire turn here. I don't like that. I messed up, chat. It's kind of scary. Sure. Wusa gifted the tier 1 sub to Pokimoki2. Thank you so much, Wusa, for the support. Appreciate it. Let's bog them, shall we? Well, good thing at least we got 2 forces from that Thalia. Seems like a pretty solid deal. Probably gonna Dryad here coming up next. Wow, I guess this must have been their top deck, because otherwise, like, they could have just bounced the Thalia. They wouldn't have forced +4s. But they knew about it though. That's pretty confusing. I guess they just wanted to slam Jace this turn. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Another force? So this probably tells me that they do have a force and they were considering whether it was worth forcing there. Just have a terminus. Okay. We have to get a white source here because we actually get to Skyclave the Jace if we get there. Also, Valakut could be a legit draw here. They need to have found one more force. Library. Get Savannah. Gonna once upon. It's just counterspell? Oh, Ice Fang. Okay. They know what's on top, so they must have a force on top. They do. So next turn is the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. They draw one. It's going to be a hardcast terminus. Oh, just plow the reclaimer. Sure. I could fetch there, but this represents another zombie this coming turn, so I'd rather get that instead. Would love to find land that's not Dried Arbor. My opponent has had a Jace, active Jace, and an active library, and we're still in this game. Which is pretty wild if you ask me. We can top deck like something like a Titan, for example. Another Savannah. That's bad actually. We have Vesuva to copy Bog if my opponent finds an Udo. Day 2-3, they're one land short of doing everything at the same turn. Time Rubbler. So they're gonna need to get some Terminus action going on here. Field is just a stupid card. Yep, kind of is. It kind of is. This is why we built this deck around it, right? There was definitely an argument for copying the Caracas so we can play around my opponent finding Udo, but there's Udo. So 3 forces are gone. They still have forces of negation. Throw everything at Jace. No surprise to see a Terminus there, but that's why I didn't play my land pre-combat. We can still continue pressuring Jace this coming turn. The other problem now is that they are going to have Udo going as well as Library, Jace, and Teferi. Gonna need some more. They're gonna need some more Termini. Do I want Tab versus Eldrazi? Probably not. The downside of Tabernacle is that, you know, you need to pay yourself as well, right? So in matchups where you want, like if you're on lands, it's fine, but like we're not a good Tabernacle deck, right? We are more of a, we kind of need to play this card, so we do just because we have to. So it's not like we are particularly excited about playing Tabernacle. So we just get Arbor and Force. There's no way that they don't have Swords to Plowshares, right? There's just no way they don't have Swords to Plowshares. I think Jace is the one that we care about the most. Oh, Jace just died. That's cool. Force of Negation, pitching Force. Okay, so no more forces for my opponent. All the Force of Wills are gone. I can't believe we're still in this game. This is kind of ridiculous. Like, imagine if we draw a Primeval Titan here. Imagine if we just draw Prime Time. Like, we actually just win. Like, how ridiculous is that? Oh yeah, you're 100% bringing in Force of Vigor against Eldrazi. They also have ballistas and stuff, so it's rarely gonna be dead. I think we take this Uro hit. I guess I'm interested in double blocking, but we're definitely taking the Uro hit. The good thing is that even though my opponent has the Uro going, like Field actually beats Uro in Legacy because Cryptic Command doesn't exist. So not having to play around Cryptic is pretty legit. Fairy to bounce my zombie. Another Jace. Okay. We're not drawing well, huh? We're not drawing well, unfortunately. They didn't even take the free block. Okay. There's no real need for me to play the Dryad. Just gives my opponent information. I don't need to do that. So I guess my opponent's trying to get aggro here. Sure. From 0 to 100, what do you think we're gonna have field ban in Modern in the next few months? Maybe 55%. So they probably have like some forces of negation. I don't think they're playing Snapcaster. So we actually have some draws here that would be game winning. Wait, what? How's it going, dog? We out here, living the Reclaimer life. Living the Reclaimer life. Well, we can't attack the Oko, so we just pass. We have nothing, though. So my opponent can Terminus, and then we're kind of in trouble. But again, we have draws that straight up win the game. I don't think my opponent can answer a Primeval Titan. Doug, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold, dude. Appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Yeah, it was about time for me to leave the Maverick life again, you know? It was about time for me to leave the Maverick life again. So we block here, double block, take 3. Block here, double block, double block. Fetchland is great, another field is great. The game Primeval Titan just wins the game. Prime time? Damn it. Still can't attack. What time is it right now in Australia? It must be like very early in the morning, I assume? Or very late at night. Either one or the other one. Mystic Sanctuary. Oh. That kind of sucks. Okay, so they drew the Plow. I mean, Plow gains me life, though, so it kind of undoes a little bit of the work that they're trying to do. So I'm going to chump the Uro, double block over here. Take 2. Okay, and we draw the Primeval Titan so we can actually win this game. I'm gonna go for it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that we are gonna... they have a Force of Negation in hand, unfortunately for me. That they can hardcast. So we need it to be exactly Primeval Titan, because Primetime, they literally had no answer to a Resolve Primetime. I would bet money on that. But... yeah, as you can see, they did have an answer to the Zenith, which was understandable. Like, they only have 3 cards left in their deck. I guess 5. The 3 was because of the library. And now they are swinging for lethal. Exactly lethal, too. That was game 1. I cannot believe how close this game was. Like, this would have probably won the game just the same as a Primeval Titan, honestly. Just a 4-4 and getting 4 zombies of a single card. It's crazy. Like, my opponent had an active Jace and an active Oko for I have no idea how many turns. And it was still super close. I don't like oof. Like Tracker. Man, we have so many good cards. I guess I want to keep the Knight of Autumn. They might have Back to Basics. Ooh, there's gonna be a big legacy event. In Melbourne. Sure, we keep this. His hand is pretty ridiculous, honestly. I guess we get Reclaimer here. Either Reclaimer or Apparition. I think I'm gonna get Reclaimer. How did I finish on the Legacy event? I finished 12th, Kenpachi. Here's the Plow. We're gonna Thalia on 2. No! I wanted to Thalia. Whoops. Yep. I definitely wanted to Thalia there. Shit. Ugh. Just MTGO things. Yeah, I know. God damn. Ever think about hanging up Modern and going for my... Yeah. I mean, I do enjoy Legacy a lot, honestly. I don't think it really should come as a surprise to anybody. I think it's just a... It's not a coincidence that I do well in it, because I like the format a lot. Going for the basics here, because I'm playing around back to basics. Click your spells if tapping your mana, MTGs doesn't autocast it. Yeah, I fucked it up. What are we gonna have here? Oko? Oko is kind of annoying, but yeah, imagine if my opponent had forced my Thalia and I had an active Reclaimer right here. Would be in such better shape. I wanted to make it. I wanted to make it 4-3. Damn it! What is going on right now? What the hell is going on right now? God damn it! Yeah, we gained 4. Super tight play. Shit. We're not gonna... I could have stopped that from happening, but we are not gonna draw a card. And I'm definitely very interested in drawing a card, so... We can't protect this. Oh, I should have passed. Because now they can just elk it. Oh, I mean, if they elk it, that means that we get to pressure the Yoko. So it's not the worst. Or if I draw Valakut. Yeah, honestly, what I should have done is I should have started the turn by playing Once Upon a Time and taking it from there, basically. Now this Veil is completely blanked. Because of the Teferi. It's not looking great. This is not looking great. I really wish I could blow. That Teferi is just brutal. How do I get out of this? How do I get out of this? Oh, they're just gonna... I am very confused by this. They could have done that at instant speed, right? So I don't see the point for doing that main phase. Something good. It's okay. Very sad face. Oh, they also have a plow. Very, very sad face. They're also pretty low on time, so it wouldn't surprise me if they're just making like bad plays, mostly because they're getting pressured by the clock. Does the Static of Spirit remain even if it's elked? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. I think we play that because... You know what would be the best thing? If my opponent minuses the Teferi on my Astrolabes just so they can draw another card and we get to Veil it. That would be pretty sweet. We're 12 minutes ahead on clock. Prime time? Not looking good. Not looking good out here. Oh, I could have cycled the Veil. You're right. I'm just playing like shit right now. I'm just playing terribly right now. I'm not even thinking. I should slow down. They found the Uro, so that's gonna be putting a lot of pressure. They don't have double green though, which is funny. Because they gave me the Astrolabe. Yeah, I should have definitely cycled the Veil. Also, my opponent should have bounced the Astrolabe kind of to start this turn. They could have actually played the Yoko here. Now I'm turning to you. I'm just getting lazy right now. I don't know why. Part of the strategy is they defeat you psychologically. There you go. Alright, let's just bottom something. Opponent needs to bottom something. And then we need to top deck a prime time. And we might actually just win if that were to happen. And if I had been able to turn this Veil into a real card, I really missed a chance there. Veil has been very awkward in certain matchups. It has been sick in some other matchups, but in a couple of matchups it has been just really, really awkward. I think I'm gonna drop from this league and I'm just gonna join another one. It's gonna be easier. It's gonna be faster. But yeah, thank you for watching this one. Not a very long one, but I will be right back for another one.